Bajaj Housing Finance, one of the most successful IPO in recent time. And today we are going to talk about this stock. This stock has fallen from almost 28% from its top, and let us understand whether you should buy this stock or not. And this question is asked by Padmashari, Jainisha, Venkata, and Mohan. They asked about what to do with the Bajaj Finance. Everyone has got in their IPO. So let us talk in detail. And what I'm going to do is let us compare Bajaj Finance with another two bigger housing finance company. Of course, Bajaj Housing Finance is the number one if you talk about the scale, but as the second and third is PNB Housing Finance and LIC Housing Finance. We'll compare all these three housing finance company to understand which company you should, which NBFC you can bet on it, and whether Bajaj Housing Finance currently it is around 135, almost 28% down. Know whether at this level one should buy this stock or not. Okay, by the way, if you have any stock related questions or sector, put it in the comment box. I'll do reply it, and we may make a video on that. And also do like and share this video to everyone. Do subscribe to our channel. Okay, so talking about Bajaj Housing Finance, guys, this stock, why it is doing well and why it has been getting so much of tremendous response in the IPO. Also, the reason is the loan growth, the profitability is best in class. Of course, the promoter Bajaj Finance over the years has a track record to deliver extraordinary return. That was one of, and Bajaj Housing Finance was one of the 100% shareholding of this. Basically, Bajaj Finance was holding 100% shareholding of this Bajaj Housing Finance after IPO. Of course, it has been changed. But if you see the loan growth which Bajaj Housing Finance has got is around 26 to 27% over the years. Okay, if you talk about in last year, chalo, let us compare year on year, it is around 27%. When we talk about LIC housing, it is 6%. When we talk about PNB housing, it is around 14 to 15%. So Bajaj housing is one of the leader when we talk about loan growth. But as you give loan growth, you should be ensuring that NPA should not go up. The gross NPA and NPA, which is well above the required, well about the below the average, basically for Bajaj Housing Finance is around zero point 0.2 something. And if we talk about PNB and LIC, also is able to control it. So nothing wrong in gross NPA, net NPA, and the loan growth they are getting. No, they are able to give better to the lenders, and of course, recovery mechanism for Bajaj Housing is one of the best. When we talk about their housing loan, is I think is around 55%, which is the major chunk. Then loan against property is another part which they are focusing about. But overall, see, Bajaj Housing is a company which can easily grow in mid 20s in next few years, no doubt about it. Even PNB and LIC can also grow. The only thing is whether they are able to control their net NPS. See, at the end of the day, there are, see, which are the big metrics you have to see when you are checking any NBFC. First is whether they have a better ratios like ROE and ROA. Okay, the most important is ROA. So what is the ROA? Now, when we talk about Bajaj Housing, it is I think 2.4 is the ROA. When we talk about PNB, it is around 2.2. So both PNB and Bajaj is having a good ROA. One, I think LIC is around 1.7. Now, when you can have a good return on asset, and why we are checking ROA and not ROE in a detailed manner, the ROE, because it's a lending business, and when you are giving a lend, when you are in a lending business, no, the loan what you are given against that, how much return you are getting. So suppose you are given 100% loan, उसमें से आपको return मिल रहा है 2.6, which is quite good. Anything about 2 is phenomenal. Okay, very few company are able to reach at this level, and Bajaj Housing already reached that. Even PNB is able to manage that. Even though it's a public sector, guys, it has done very well. Even when we talk about the price stock return in last few years, I think PNB has exceeded LIC also. I think from last year it is grown by almost 33%. Yeah, stock price I'm talking. So PNB has done extremely well in last few years. When we talk about, and even in ROE is also well about, you can say, 15 for both Bajaj Housing Finance. PNB it is around 11.8, but LIC it is around 16.8. Now, see, guys, two things you have to understand. One thing, when you have a good loan growth, Suppose your loan growth is around what we are talking about Bajaj Housing 27%, and their ROE is around 15. That means they need an capital infusion in the future, which they may do. So some liquidation may be there in the future. If ROE and your loan growth is same, then they don't need any other money from outside. See, what is the raw material at the end of the day when we talk about this NBFC? The raw materials is nothing but no, they are taking a debt. Okay, they are taking some financing from outside, and against that they are paying the interest. Okay, so that is their raw material, and then they lend it, and the difference between the two is nothing but the net interest margin, whatever interest they are earning. Now the thing is, see guys, I'm just trying to give you the important points only. I am not going to go to the PNL and all that, that you can all anyway find it out. I just wanted to focus on the main part which you need to be analyzing, you know, when you are buying this stock. At the end of the day, profitability matters, correct? And guys, this is the way we also do our own research. My team and me do research when we provide our stock recommendations to our members. If you're not still gone through it, guys, check it in the comment box. The link is given, go and check it out. And also the free webinar link is given. Please do attend that. It's 1500 rupees, we are giving it free. We'll learn a lot through that, basically masterclass and workshop also. Okay, so guys, talking about that, now you have to understand that whenever you are checking any NBFC, you have the main is ROA, return on asset, and again, uh, how efficiently they are able to give a loan and they are able to recover it. This at the end वही है business, कुछ नहीं है, बस यही उस पे ही focus है. When we talk about housing finance or when we talk about banks and all that stuff, NBFC के पास deposit they cannot give it, but that's why they have to take it from outside. But as and when the interest rate cut may happen in future, which may happen in maybe January, this time the December hopes are not there, but अगर January में होता है, then if the interest rate goes down, the net interest margin normally shrinks. Now, why net interest margin normally shrinks? See, understand one thing, guys. As I told you, they borrow money from outside. Okay, so they some are fixed coupon, some are floating coupon rate, and this way it is there. Now, if the interest rate goes down, okay, now suppose your interest rate goes down, you are lended to someone. Sorry, you are given money to someone, and you are getting interest. So the borrower, what they will do, they automatically within few days that interest rate is going to go down. You have to lower your interest rate. As you lower, interest income will be on a lower side, but a lending rate means जो बेसिकली आपने जहां से बाहर से बाय किया हुआ है, ओके, दैट lending आपने किया हुआ है, there the rate will go down slowly and gradually, because some are fixed and some are floating. Mostly it is floating, but floating will take some time and all that, and that's why, you know, the net interest margin initially may in 1 or 2 quarter you may get shrink, it may shrink also for all the companies. So that may happen in future, in next few months, that you have to keep in mind, you know, when you are checking all these housing finance company. See, the scope is very big. Bajaj Housing Finance scope is very big. India is under penetrated, you know that, and house for all, that is our PM, Prime Minister is always battling for. And no, at the end of the, this is going to happen. So there is no problem in giving loan. Okay, enough demand is there. The only thing is how they are able to manage, and their operational ratios are very very good for Bajaj Housing Finance when we talk about, and overall, no, the every parameter is good, and that's why, you know, the price to book value, that is 6. And when we talk about PNB Housing, it is 1.7, and LIC is around 1.1. Now, what is price to book value? Price to book value is one of the most important metrics to understand when we talk about, you know, how the expensive this NBFC is there compared to its competitors. Boss 6, and the next competitor PNB is 1.7, and LIC is 1.1. When we talk about the scale, just think of what type of premium basically Bajaj Housing Finance is getting here, and that is why it is priced with perfection, and that's why you can see the stock has fallen by almost 28% from the top. Now you may say it has already crossed 1 lakh crore AUM, all that. I do agree. I do agree. But the main thing is like if you talk about Bajaj Finance, just to give you an example, see it's not apple to apple comparison, but I'm just talking on NBFC point of view. Bajaj Finance already was trading around 5 and 6 price to book value. Now it is around 4.3 overall. In last few years, it has not given us return. Okay, even though their growth is quite good. For similarly, and when we talk about this Bajaj Housing and all that, no, they are also going to have a great growth in the future. The main thing is their profitability increasing in the same pace way it should be, because see over the years as their loan growth, see, because you can justify this type of growth only when you have a good profitable growth. And when we talk about year on year growth of Bajaj Housing, it's almost profit growth is 21%, PNB is 23%, LIC is 11%. Actually, when we talk about quarter to quarter, now quarter to quarter also Bajaj Housing is grown by almost 13%. Now when you have a quarter to quarter growth, that means the company is really doing well. But both LIC and PNB is also doing well. PNB also 8%, and LIC 2%. So when we talk about all this context, you may feel that PNB is quite cheaper, correct? At 1.7 book value, you are getting the loan growth is also good. Okay, yeah, I know it is almost 30-40% less compared to, I think it is 15%, and Bajaj Housing is around 26. But the valuation is also on a lower side, but it's a public sector company. But the Bajaj Housing Finance has a tag of Bajaj Finance. So correct. So that thing you have to keep in mind, when you are analyzing this, and because of that name only, Bajaj Housing Finance is getting this type of, you can say, basically premium compared to any other company. And basically, see, at the end of the day, this growth will be based on how the management is able to navigate their progress from here. Okay, so overall, if you talk about, no, the main focus for Bajaj Finance is nothing but the technology driven growth. Bajaj Finance, Housing Finance, they have a parent company Bajaj Finance, तो उनके पास already data के भरमार है, no. Bajaj Finance, I think, is one of the biggest NBFC. Of course, it's one of the biggest NBFC in India, and they have a data, and through that data, they can always drive it. So technology driven is much more for Bajaj Housing. LIC and PNB, they are much more focusing on the home loan and all that, but yes, they are also using technology. See, over the years, see growth, loan against property, they are focusing, and lease rental. Loan against property is 19.6, correct? Home loans, so if you talk about Bajaj Finance, 57. And lease rental discounting, what they are doing, which LIC Housing and PNB Housing they are not doing. So that discounting also, lease rental discount is 11.7%, developer finance is 11.7%. So developer को भी काफी लोन दे रहे हैं वो लोग. So but they are able to manage it much better way. Okay, so when asset quality, as I told you, is much lower, and everything, funding and key strength and key risk is one of the major keys, as I told you, that as the interest rate goes down, then net interest margin is going to shrink for all these NBFC. ऐसा banks के लिए नहीं होता है, but at least for NBFC it happens, because they don't have that type of raw material which banks have, that is the deposit, CASA. Correct. So that you have to keep in mind overall. But for me, when we talk about, bro, what to do with Bajaj Housing Finance at this rate. Okay, well, my suggestion will be simple, that at the end of the day, guys, no, you have to buy a stock where you can see a big growth. I'm not saying that the Bajaj Housing may not have a big growth over the years. No, AUM increase and all this going to, but the valuation is a problem here. And at 135 also, I think it is on a much more on a higher side, because the price to book value is almost 6. So that also, overall, from this also, no, I don't know what type of return you are going to get. In maybe market type return, you may get around 13 to 15%. That's a different thing. But having a multi-bagger return, I really doubt here. Again, this is just a suggestion, not a recommendation. I am not holding Bajaj Housing Finance. If my clients are holding, that's a different thing. But no, please keep this in mind. Do your own analysis before investing. But I am not too much no keen on that, because I feel the stock is highly, means very richly valued, and to get again return from here, no, the growth should be, no, very good. And when we compare the other companies like LIC Housing, this valuation is far almost three times, four times of other companies. So that you have to keep in mind. So guys, keep this in mind, guys, and hope you like this video, guys. If you have any question related to any stock sector, please free to ask, put in the comment box, and I'll be seeing you soon in the next video. See you then.